Well, here to weigh in is Fox News contributor Tammy Bruce. Tammy, great to have you with us this morning.
Thanks
we appreciate
for having me. Look for it's very exciting. This new set is fantastic. It's
really
fabulous.
is. We love it. So it's almost a given now that anything that President Trump does, it's not going to be good enough, or it's going to be bad altogether. And really, no exception yesterday.
Yeah, not only no exception there. The left is even unhappy with the great economy. Right? They're unhappy with success. The bottom line is, though, that in this particular case, it really hasn't been about the children. I mean, this has been an issue through both Obama terms. And in this case, it really is just an effort to get back to catch and release. So it's one step to the next. Obviously, the president is implementing the law. And what he's done is change that dynamic. What people were concerned before about holding children with adults who were incarcerated, et cetera. So the president wants to create an environment that's separate from that, that's going to take more money, et cetera. And it also is what Obama did, which is when you create things with executive orders, as Americans are seeing, that can change. The president wanted legislation about dreamers, as an example. Obama set up an executive order that expired. He wants legislation to deal with this as well, so that there's more of a consistency in the law. So it's a false dichotomy that the left has set up, that it's either catch and release and let everyone in with the chaos,
or nothing.
Or everyone's incarcerated all the time. We can have we can afford to respect our law at the same time keeping the border safe and keeping families together. But he wants it legislatively, which today we might have some progress on. Right.
Let's take a look at some of the headlines as we continue to talk about it, because I'm not going to go through all these. But the New York Times, you can see the Washington Post, you can see CNN, and what you were just saying, obviously very different headlines when this same type thing was experienced under the Obama administration.
Yes, and these messages about Trump caving are really targeted to his supporters. This is all political. It's about using children as chits for some kind of political benefit. In their case, it's about catch and release and keeping chaos going on at the border. But which is
ironic, because the left accuses the right of using children as political pawns when they're doing it as well.
Yeah, it's projection. I mean, what we've got here is what I think everyone understands too, especially for the safety for the children. They are removed from adults who cannot prove that are actually their parents, and are moved through then the sex trafficking network and MS-13, or if there's physical abuse, or of course if there's an arrest involved. But for families where there isn't the other two scary, violent things, like if it's about just crossing the border, those are the kids that we want to have kept with their parents. At the same time, there's also a target against the president's supporters to make it seem as though the president doesn't know what he's doing. I would caution the left that, in fact, the president does know what he's doing, and he's committed to having the law work, compassion, security at the border, and security for the country.
Well, we'll see what happens, because there's this Judge G who may say, you can't do this legally because she had the 20 days time period.
That's the issue.
But let's move on to what happened last night. This rally in Minnesota, an overwhelming group. We can see the amount of people that were there. This area, Minnesota, traditionally Democrat, but certainly didn't look like it last night.
Yeah, and the numbers of people outside, thousands of people outside, they had to switch the venue to accommodate the people that they did have. It is a sign that the president maintains his support. His approval rating is, of course, high. The economy is still going gangbusters, and that's what matters in people's lives. It is a remarkable statement and a reminder to the left that, in fact, all of these games, and the American people notice what's going on, but they support. The president's been honest with them. He's made promises. They've elected him for a particular reason to accomplish these things, because they care about the quality of life for everyone, including immigrants who are coming into this country, and children, so that they've got the security and the safety that's required when they enter this country.
So you were able to actually meet with the president. You said hello to him, and what did you think about him? What's his state of mind right now?
Look, this is what struck me and reassured me a great deal. When I saw him, he was clearly in his element, thrilled with what he's doing. He's enjoying it. He's comfortable, not just at rallies, but generally in that environment. He's a man for this time, and I think that for anybody else who might have been facing this kind of onslaught from the left and the constant with the Peter Fonda stuff and this outrage and the vile hatred, it's meant to wear them down. Let me tell every liberal out there, it's not wearing them down. They've got a higher commitment to this country, both he and the First Lady. They've expected this to some degree, and they know that they have the support of the American people.
Yeah, well, you have, movement on North Korea.
Yeah.
You have movement on immigration. You have movement on the economy. We're actually going to talk to someone from Minnesota that was part of that roundtable discussion.
Can I just add that some of this, and the president mentioned at the rally last night, that a lot of this is, if not all of it, is about distraction. This became an issue when the Inspector General's report came out that day. We've had the hearings in Congress. The great news, as you noted, about North Korea, the great news about the economy. It's not a coincidence that this suddenly became a major issue in the media on the day that the Inspector General's report comes out.
Good point. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We
My
appreciate
pleasure.
it. Lots of stuff to talk about. We got